Your ex-wife, Nancy, is one of the all-time great women's managers, I guess, and was a true trailblazer. And unfortunately, due to circumstances, she'll probably never be in the Hall of Fame. She definitely probably deserves to be in there. What are your thoughts on if they'll ever put her in the WWE Hall of Fame? And I'm sure that you feel the same way. She was your manager for a long time.
Well, I don't know if they'll ever put her in the Hall of Fame, but she was very instrumental in drawing the biggest house in the history of Hawaiian pro wrestling, Polynesian pro wrestling. We did this deal for almost a year where she knocked Leah Maivia, called her, I guess you can, back in the day, she called Leah a coconut, which is a derogatory term to Samoans. And when they finally brought someone into her to wrestle, she went out and wrestled. Yeah, I think she was a trendsetter. I think she was probably the first diva, and she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
I was watching some of the Florida wrestling clips before this interview just to come up with some question ideas, and I love how you guys pulled off the cult gimmick, not just you and her, but the whole group of you. It was very believable. You very much had the Charles Manson thing going on. It was quite something. It's too bad that wasn't done on a bigger stage, but you were very successful in your territory.
Well, one of the ones that was so good was Luna Vachon. Luna actually really kicked it off because we did a thing where, again, Wrestle of the Year was between me and Barry, and she was supposed to be, at the time, she was coming down from one of the magazines as a representative. She chose Barry. I slapped her. And when we got back to the dressing room, she said, "Is that all you got, pussy? I'm a Vachon." And what happened was they suspended me from TV until I would apologize. So I went 2 weeks without being on TV. The third week, she's sitting with Gordon, and she was, at the time, a 19-year-old little girl. And I said, well, Gordon says, "Mr. Sullivan, you have something to say to Trudy." And as I went to say something, she said, "Before you say anything, Mr. Sullivan, I want to talk." I said, "Okay, go ahead." And she said, "When you touched me, I felt something I've never felt before. I felt like a woman for the first time." She said, "I want to follow you." And I said, "Well, you got to sacrifice something." And that's when we shaved half her head. Now, even if you didn't believe in wrestling, what lovely looking girl is going to shave half her head? And people were taken back from that. Luna was a very intricate part of that whole angle. And Luna, as everybody knows, was as tough as nails. I gotta tell you a real quick story. Years later, I'm at a spot show, and Luna's with Gangrel, and there was a manager out there, and the manager screwed up the spot. And Mike Graham and I were in the dressing room, and we were gonna work together, and I'm tying up my boots, Mike's tying up his boots, and all of a sudden I hear this screaming, and the manager comes in crawling on his hands and knees, and Luna's kicking him in the ass and slapping his head. And one of the guys looks at me and Mike and said, "Hey, aren't you gonna help him?" And I said to Mike, "Oh, we've seen this act before." And everybody started laughing. Luna was a wonderful human being. She really was.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.